Hey everyone, it's Erin from Lady B Collective, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this topic is something that I've really been thinking about lately. It's been weighing heavy on my heart. It always has been, but throughout the last years, I've really thought more about it. And that is love. Now I know that is a very loaded word, and there's many different types of love, and today I wanted to talk about unconditional love and how we sometimes don't really show that. And I think sometimes that we're not realizing that we're putting conditions on love. So I just want to say that number one, it's not just romantic love. I'm talking about friendship love. I'm talking about family love. I'm talking about any kind of love you have for someone or for others. And I think that when we were growing up, it was just kind of like once we found love and once we found people, friends, family, and people we date, marry, and we have respect and we have all of those things in love, you know, we get married or we have kids or however your family dynamic looks like. And from there, I feel like a lot of us want to secure that spot, right? Because we want to find love by a certain age. If you want to start a family, we want it to be, it's one of those things, you know, it's not like a job or school where, you know, you can get into it, you can apply, you can work hard and you can get it. Love's not like that. Real love, you can't just say, I want to be in love tomorrow, and it happens, or life would be a lot easier, right? Like you can't just say, I want my family tomorrow. And so I think that when we find something that we feel that way and we feel the unconditional love or something close to it, we want to lock it down, right? It's not always the best term for it, but it's kind of true. And I think then that allows us to really focus on our passions, our dreams, our goals, because when we're trying to fall in love and we're going through dating and all of that, it's exhausting, right? It's fun for a little bit as well, but it's exhausting and it's hard work and it's a lot. And I think once we get that, it feels good. Like in society, that's what our goals are. That's what it should be. Love is the most important thing that you can have in any form of it. But the problem is that when we keep moving forward with our goals and our work and our hobbies, we get really into that because that's what feeds our soul as well. And so sometimes we can just think, oh, well, our family and friends, they're good, they're here. And we kind of ignore them, right? It doesn't mean we don't love them or we don't unconditionally love them. But I think sometimes over time, we start to kind of put conditions on them, right? Even with dating, I hear people say like, well, I love him most when, or if he does this, I think it'll really work out. And we don't really understand the fact that although love is amazing and it's something that you want to find, it is hard work. It is, right? It's not. Don't believe the whole, it's not hard work, it should be easy. No, it shouldn't. Should you have similar beliefs that might work for you? Should you have respect and loyalty and love? Absolutely. But it is hard work. Like, think about this. We all have our own experiences or trauma, or people want to call it baggage, right? And we start developing and learning and growing throughout our process. And to think that we are going to go through the same growth process and the way we change, we're evolving daily, even when we don't know it, at the same rate as our husband, wife, or girlfriend or boyfriend, or family members or friends, just can't happen. And so because we'll be at different places at different times, we have to work on it. We have to put in that work. And I see so many times in society, you know, when you get that job, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the overtime. Sometimes you work weekends, nights. You have to do yearly trainings, right? Because you have to keep up with the knowledge. You have to keep up with what's going on with your job. But they don't do that with marriage or relationships. You know, people just start to get quote unquote kind of lazy with it and they don't check in as much, right? They don't have the tough conversations, the challenging conversations, because one, it doesn't always feel good. And two, we don't always have the time to sit and not only have to have these challenging conversations, then we have to look within ourselves. Then it doesn't feel great. Then we're taking more time out of our day, and we're used to this like hustle and bustle of life. And we don't want to take that time because we think it's going to take away from the other time, from our passions and our hobbies and our goals, because we fear that we won't have enough time for that. Maybe we started them later. You know, we all have that fear we're not going to get everything done. But the truth is that if we slow down a little bit and we show the unconditional love to the people that we really truly love, right? We show up when it's hard, when we don't always want to. We do the little things. It doesn't have to be grand gestures, but we just learn about them. We learn what their love language is. Some people don't know what love language is, and we all have them. You know, we do things to help out. We learn them like we learn our craft, right? It's, if we're going to put all this into learning work or learning our passion, why wouldn't you put it in to the people you love most? That's the one thing that can't, like, the one thing we live for is love. Yet it's the one thing that kind of goes to the bottom of the barrel. And no, I'm not talking about taking cute family photos like people do, or, you know, once in a while showing a little love for that. I'm saying showing up every day like you do for everything else, because it's hard. And even it's hard for friends. It's not like you don't like them, but there's always that famous, oh, it's like, you know, we left off where we were before years ago. You know, we let it go because we don't have the time. The truth is we have the time. We're just so scared and so driven by what society says, what our trauma is telling us, what our anxiety is telling us, what our age is telling us, that we think that we don't have time. You always have time for people that you love. And sometimes you have to make it, and sometimes you have to stop making the excuses. You have to remind yourself, this is what's important in life. And a lot of times it takes people a very long time to get to that point. And they will say, I regretted not spending enough time with my kids when they were younger. I regretted not telling my wife or husband how much I loved them, right? Because we're just caught up at this age in the hustle and bustle of life. And we want to keep up with what we're supposed to. But you have to keep up with love too, and not put the conditions on them. And even a perfect example, the only times I ever really see unconditional love is when people are talking about their animals. It's true. I do the same thing because animals are easy to love. They're always there. They don't talk back. They don't tell us their opinion, right? They love us through everything. And that's amazing. And we feel that and we love that. And that's why it's so hard if we ever lose them. But with our families, they give us our opinions, right? They don't always tell us what we want to hear. And that's not as comfortable for us, right? But wouldn't it be great if we spent the amount of time and put the equal time into learning them and loving them and vice versa, so we could feel that complete unconditional love that we feel for our animals? Not just say we feel it, not just know that we feel it, but actually feel that love, and not feeling like we're in these relationships, but we're kind of alone. We're kind of lonely within relationships. And again, this is not for every relationship, but I do think, again, like they do at work and trainings and stuff like that, that there should be a lot more checking in and a lot more of the more difficult conversations. And the bottom line is when you love somebody, you show up, you contact them, you make sure that they're okay. And that's just baseline. And I think that a lot of times we're hurting because we don't always get that. And sometimes we talk about our needs and it doesn't maybe matter to them, or I think a lot of us are sometimes feeling alone within relationships. And this does not mean that there's not love there. It just means that we have to prioritize what's really important. And if this time especially doesn't make you realize how much loved ones are important and that you love and that it could be so easily taken away, then I don't know what else would be. But I would challenge each and every one of you and myself to do the work that's not always easy. Put the time in to your loved ones like you would into stuff you really enjoy. And I think that helps the family unit. I think it helps yourself. I think it'll help you come from a place of love. I think it will slowly help you with healthier habits and putting love first. I think when talking to others, you will lead with more love instead of more resentment. I think resentment is something that's big in a lot of different relationships, and the way that we kind of want to get rid of our resentment and control our resentment is by putting these conditions that we're not always consciously aware of onto our loved ones. And it's hurting both people. So that is just something that's been weighing on me for a really long time, just the idea of unconditional love. And I thought that I would share that with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know how you feel. You can comment below. Again, you can DM me. You can go to info@ladybcollective.com and email me. In the meantime, check out my other videos. Let me know what topics you want to hear about. Go to ladybcollective.com, see everything there. And I just really hope that everyone is really hanging in there, that they're realizing that they have all the power within, that you are enough and that you are capable and you're worthy and you can do stuff that is hard. And sometimes the hardest stuff will push you over those hurdles, and those struggles will make you into the best person you are, and it will help you on your path, in your purpose. It really will. And I know sometimes that sounds so cheesy, and in the moment it's not fun to go through it, but the more you go through it, the more you'll see, and you'll look back at how far you've come. And we have one life, and it is important to put ourselves out there and love and speak up and share our voices and our opinions and just try to be there for ourselves, for one another, for the ones we love, all of that. So I don't know, that's just kind of what has been on my mind, and I thought that I would share. So I hope that you are having a wonderful Sunday. I swear, I don't think I can get through one of these videos with either a dog bark or an ambulance in the background. But just make sure that you're staying safe, you're staying healthy, you're prioritizing, and that you're checking in on one another, and that I think that's that. So I will talk to you next week. And in the meantime, like I said, email me, DM me, go to Instagram. I do a bunch of posts there and stories, and that's it. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if not, it's just a day and it will pass, even if it feels like it doesn't. And tomorrow is a new day. And I just hit you up with some more corny but true sayings there. So I'm going to get going, and I will talk to you later. Bye.